I say open the door and let me in. Teach us all, preach your sins. Turn the cheek, let it slide. Kill the vibe on the black hand side. The black hand side. Oh, oh, oh. Black hand side, black hand side. Oh, oh, oh. The black hand side.
Welcome to the Black on the Block podcast, where we're all about preserving the black family. Everything is pro-black, but don't get it twisted. We respect everyone, but we love our people first.
What up, y'all? This is your soul sister, Kae Maree, and we are Black on the Block.
This your favorite guy, Coach Scrap, and you listen to Black on the Block podcast.
This is your humble servant, Pops, and you are listening to Black on the Block.
Hey, y'all. This your girl, Nekab. Welcome to Black on the Block.
Say, open the door, let me in. Teach us all, preach us in. Turn the cheek, let it slide. Kill the vibe on the black hand side.
Even the snippet of what I got as far as grandfatherhood was instrumental in my life. Like, it was just a tremendous presence, even though, again, he died when I was a teenager. What was instilled in me from that, being able to see a glimpse of that manhood, because, he got sick well before he died, but being able to see just a portion of what he was as a man, definitely helped me have a broader perspective on things. Again, I would have loved for my children to have that. One of the deal breakers, not to go too deep with me and my father, was we tried to establish a relationship once I got grown. And my deal breaker for me is my kids. I don't play games with where they're concerned. Right. And one of his things is he made several promises to my son. My son was probably 10 years old, that he fell through.
And he don't play.
And so
he don't play.
I don't play, right? So my thing with that was you'd already shortchanged me on having a father. So here you come again with an opportunity to make up for that or redeem yourself, and you failed to do so. So in that instance, he just didn't have any interest in being a father, and i.e. a grandfather. So I'll just stress again how important that is just for generations to have somebody to lean on. Coach Scrap, spoke about my son a while ago. There are things that a young man in particular need to be able to come to and talk about. I'm his mama. At the end of the day, sometimes whether I'm right or wrong, mostly I'm right. But when it sounds like yep, to him, but hearing it from a man's perspective absolutely makes that difference. So even again, as a mother, I don't mother my children the same way I did when they were 8, 9, and 10 years old. I'm not their friend. Even now, I'm not your friend. I'm still your mother, but it's a variance in relationship. So it's the same thing for fatherhood. It's so very important that they have that balance. And so for kids who don't have that balance, I think you do see a difference. And I think your perspective. So.
I know a lot of people that say, well, you know what? I just accept that relationship over having a father. Did you still long for that from a father? Although you had that from your great-grandfather. Mm-hmm. Did you still long that relationship from your father, though?
I think so. I think it's different dynamics. For me, me and my sister are 2 years apart, and her father was local in town and active in her life, picked her up on weekends, birthdays, holidays. So she left and would always come back with all this stuff. I always had that longing for, I'll say it was a longing, or like, I felt undervalued. I felt undervalued. I didn't feel like there was a sense of self-worth that I had to work really hard to establish for myself, because that equated to me that nobody thought I was worthy of coming to pick up. Nobody thought I was worthy of spending extra time with or spending extra money on. And so again, I was surrounded by extended family. I grew up in a house. It wasn't, we didn't move out. We stayed with my great-grandparents for years. And even when we moved out, it was a street over. So I didn't lack in a support system. But again, in my immediate family, which consisted of me, my sister, and my mother at the time, right? There was definitely a longing as a child for that. And not anything that anybody else could have fulfilled, I don't think, at that point. And I went through my own struggles with that. Now I'm in a good place with it. Like, I no longer desire any type of relationship, because you also have to know when to cut things off and when not to have certain expectations. As a grown woman now, I don't desire it, right? Because if you were gonna do it, you had ample time. I'm 45. You had ample time.
You don't desire a relationship at all.
No, absolutely no.
It's a lot of young people in this situation. What's that feeling though? And if you don't want to answer it, fine. But like, what's that feeling not having a dad? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like, what's that feeling not having an active dad like around?
Right. And again, it's going to vary based on, I think, your other support system. Growing up, again, financially, I wasn't lacking. There was no big, support wise, I wasn't lacking. My mother always worked hard, provided for us, and so it was never that. But to say that, you didn't look around sometimes, and again, because the dynamic was so close, I think I maybe have a different perspective if my sister's father wasn't present either, but it was very close to me, and I was able to make that contrast. Like, hey, what's wrong with me? Like, I remember seeing my mom. I remember.
You feel like something's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You feel like it was a problem with you?
As a child, yeah. Right, because I was like, why don't nobody want to come get me? Yeah, so I can say definitely, and just piggyback up there. I mean, obviously it has an impact from childhood to adulthood. And then, again, my concern is the generational impact, right? Because I'm where I'm at. And so, even just looking at my children and then now grandchildren, like, what impact does it have? One of the things me and my son talk about all the time is that it's non-negotiable. You have to be present. Not saying that he wouldn't, but he knows that that's my standard. You have to be present. There's no,
it's my standard.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Right. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm about to tell y'all something that'll flip this whole narrative, though. I'm about to tell y'all something to kill the whole narrative. So, I told y'all how I grew up with my great grandmother, right? My brother was in the same house with me, my great grandmother, right? Mm-hmm. My brother, my daddy is not my brother's biological father. He's older than me. We live with grandmama. But my brother, this is my daddy's grandmother. That ain't this nigga's daddy's grandmama. But we living with grandmama. Great grandmama. For real. That ain't my brother's grandmother. Biologically. You know what I'm saying? We got the same mama, but that ain't, you know what I'm saying? My dad took care of homie though. We was in the same, like the situation I explained earlier, we was in the same situations. Like we didn't know that we didn't know we had different daddies. Now I'm about to give you the twist to this. I may have been 8 years old. My brother might have been, I'm 37. He's 39. So we're 2 years plus. So if I was like 8, he was like 10. My mama, our mama, took him to go meet his real daddy, right? Get what I did? Y'all know what I did?
You went.
I cried. You know why?
Why is that?
Why I ain't got two daddies? Nigga, you got two daddies, nigga. You got two of these motherfuckers. Cause it's
confusing to a child.
But look though, but listen though, I can remember back at that time what I was thinking. I may have couldn't have said it then, but I can say it now. This is what I'm thinking. Understand what I said? I wasn't living with him, but it ain't like he wasn't present. He with me every day. They just trying to get their stuff together every day. You know how it is, man. Watch grandmama and them watch kids, and we trying to get this business going on over here. I knew it. I didn't know that then. I'm just living my life with grandmama. But my brother with me too. This is not his biological grandmama. This is my daddy folk, for real. But my daddy took him in. And if you ask my brother today who is daddy, he gonna say my daddy. My daddy. Our father. Man, he called his daddy by his real name. You know what I'm saying? But I cried. I cried when it happened. Because I can understand then, man, he one of them ones. You got two of them, I just got one of them. I want two of them too.
When Kae Maree said, thinking about now as I become an adult, thinking about fatherhood, and I thought about one of the most difficult things, transitioning from parent to consultant, because of course I'll always be a parent, but I don't have that same level of control. And see, that's one thing that is difficult to relinquish. I used to be able to say, you come in at this time. No, you can't go there. Oh, no, no, no. You won't be talking to him. Oh, no, you're going to do it like this. But now I am a consultant. I have to navigate things in a different, and once my folks go, they stretch out beyond my protection. I've really had to wrestle with that because I'm a father. That's part of who I am, a protector. That's part of who I am. And when your young folks go out beyond your protection range, like when my daughters are out of the state, and you think about, okay, how long would it take me to get there? What I'm thinking about, things that might not be the best decision, and they make them anyway. But you're thinking, as a protector, you want them to be safe, but we cannot protect them from everything. As a matter of fact, we can hurt them trying to protect them from everything, because we take away their opportunities to grow and gain the abilities that they're going to need to navigate out here in this ocean.
Right.
So I've tried to create a balance. And as I mentioned before, Coach Scrap, I didn't have the wisdom to know sometimes that I was overprotecting, because you don't want your folks to get scarred up. But sometimes it takes getting knocked down and learning how to get back up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not to interrupt, but that's funny, because even when you describe it, like, just from a mother's perspective, relinquishing that control, like they literally had to rip it out of my bleeding hand. You understand what I'm saying? And that was hard for me, because I know when they were with me, they were protected, but like you said, they got to bump their head. They got to have their own experiences for them to learn in life. So as a mother, I just know, like, just going through my own stages of grief from it. Actually, that's what I describe it as. Like, so as a father, did you experience the same? Was it harder to relinquish that control as a man, do you think?
What I don't know, because often this is what I tell my young folks. I know it from the testicle side. I don't know it from the ovary side. So I can't, I don't know. But this is what I will say, that just like you, Nekab, I had to wrestle, and I kind of dealt with it alone. I didn't talk to anyone else about it, but I knew it was necessary for me to make that transition. And I want to go back to something I thought of when Coach Scrap was talking about being a lot of pressure on his baby girl. As an older fellow now, Coach Scrap, a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, man.
There was a gentleman, and we were at this place. It was a performance academy, and where you take your folks there, they learn how to get a little faster, a little stronger. And I saw a gentleman. He was extremely hard on this young man, because we want our young folks to be the best. I mean, we want them to be the best. So every time his son would not come out on top in the race, he was yelling. He was on him. And I was watching that young man, how his head would dip. And I pulled him over to the side. I told him, I said, you know what? I used to do that with my son. But what I noticed was he responded a lot better to me when I complimented him on the things that he did well, especially first. Before you lay into him, you call him over and say, you know what, boy? When you came up out of the blocks, now you didn't win, but I like the way you came out of the blocks. And I respect that you ran all the way through. Even though you were not winning, you didn't stop. Boy, I appreciate that. I tried that. A couple of weeks, he came back to me. He said, hey, man, I appreciate that. He said, because I didn't see it. I said, I recognized that, but I said, I wish I'd had somebody that would have told me that I wouldn't have done my son like that so long.
Right.
And then it made me feel bad for being so hard on my son because we want him to be the best.
Do you all think the absence of Black fathers in the home has been normalized?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Well,
for sure. For sure.
I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's an attempt to normalize it because see, you have two parallel things happening. You have the reality, which Nekab B stated earlier, because see, we up in the life. They can't get us up out of there, but the propaganda will say we're not there. So I see what's going on, and that's what we have to do. We have to understand what's that too, but we have to understand that just because someone has it in a peer-reviewed journal, who's sanctioning the research?
Yeah.
Because see, that's why sometimes some of my college-educated brethren and sistering, we forget that we have to understand who's sanctioning this research. Because sometimes we think because it came up out of a peer-reviewed journal that it's law. So who puts the money behind the research? And we know that there are crafty adversaries out here. See, they're meant to, they're extremely crafty. And that's what we have to be wary of. If folks way back then were doing things that were harmful and they were doing it in such a systematic way, we can't think that what we read now is going to be all for our benefit. We have to learn how to splice it because there can be they got a trick bag they're working on us, but now they might be trying to normalize it, but folks like us, we're not going to allow it. We're too much of a resilient people, and we won't allow it. So we're not going to even speak that into existence. We reject it. We rebuke it. Not going to happen.
Pops, you said it. And I agree with you. I also agree with the propaganda that's been put out there.
Mm-hmm.
They agree with that too. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say they agree with that too, because they show it. Hide your clothes. They come over here today to check, do an inspection. And it's just boyfriend. He ain't none of them kids' dad is in there. He's just boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Hide your clothes. Put them in trash bags. Put them in your car. Put them in the trunk. They better come over here and do this stuff. I need these food stamps now. I think, man, like, man, we could be so, man, and it really hurt we can be so great as a people, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can be great as a people.
There's always an underlying agenda. There's always an
first, and that's what I'm saying. Nigga B. You know how many messages I get at 12 o'clock my time? And you know how many messages I get at 1 o'clock my time? Mm-hmm. From kids that I've been in their life that don't have a daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Kids that I'm coached. I'm talking about they in college. And I don't know if y'all realize, I got 4 kids that I've coached in the NFL right now playing football.
Okay.
I got 2 kids that I've coached that just won Super Bowls this last Super Bowl.
Okay.
I've got kids that's telling me, man, happy Father's Day, man. I appreciate you. You're the only father I knew. And I'm coaching a guy. He the shit. We leave him practice and he see his daddy. He said, Daddy, what's up? I ain't seen you in years. His dad said, what's up, son? I ain't know you play. This pissed me off. I'm taking this kid home this night. I'm crying the whole time I'm taking him home. He said, Daddy, what you doing up here? He said, I'm picking him up. That was his daddy's girlfriend's son. Mm. He said, well, Daddy, can't ride. The boy told him, I ain't seen him since he was 1 year old. Daddy, well, can I ride home with your daddy? Now I ain't got no room, son. I said, hey, back, get in the car. I got you. I saw revving up. Get in the car. I've been taking you home. Get in the car. I take him home. Guess what we see? I'm dropping off at home. His dad is dropping the kid off 2 doors down from him and going in the house. You 2 doors down from him. Couldn't take your son home. They killed him. That boy saw that as he's walking on the street, turned around and hugged me. Right now, that kid just won a Super Bowl this past year.
Well, I hope daddy is not reaching out to him.
He don't talk to his daddy.
Well,
But he tell
I
me,
hope
Coach,
daddy is not reaching
Coach,
out
what
to
you
him.
want? Coach, what you need? I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing. You do you. I don't need nothing. Coach, I need to get. I don't need nothing. He took care of me, but you know what I'm saying. But the thing is, I don't need nothing.
Right.
But that's your daddy. Like when this kid saw his daddy and how happy he was, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. About that little moment. Now, son, I ain't know you playing over here. It's almost like the girlfriend is sending him to pick up her son. Then my son play over there too. And so I agree with Pops when he say, to me, no, it's not. It's not normal. And I do not want to take anything away from Nekab B. I do not want to take anything away from Kae Maree. But I think there's a lot of women out here that help that propaganda be normal. I really do.
Something before we get to what do we do about it. It's great to have, supports. We need supports, but there's nothing like having that biological involved. There's always a void there, no matter the supports, no matter the stepfather or stepmother that treats you like there's always that looming. Why don't they want me? Why am I not loved? Why am I not good enough? And I asked the question, is the absence of Black fathers normalized? I'm going to reframe it now and just say, I believe the pain around absentee Black fathers is minimized or even dismissed by sometimes disgruntled parents or family members or communities.
Yeah. Family members,
Definitely by mental health professionals. I'm in mental health, and I've had to speak with colleagues about minimizing the pain and trauma of Black kids around not having their fathers in their lives. This affects diagnoses, this affects treatment. We can't just say, well, this kid is hanging out with the wrong crowd. He's hanging out with gang members. He's not playing basketball anymore. He's doing drugs. So let's diagnose him with ODD. No, we're not going to do that. This kid is no longer doing things that he is enjoying. This could possibly be a symptom of depression. Maybe he's hanging out with these males because he's living in a house full of women. He doesn't have any male role models in his life, and this is what is there. Well,
I did it. I've been around him.
Yeah, where's his father? Oh, his father's never been in his life.
Coach him.
So that doesn't bother him.
Yeah, I coach him.
So no, you can't say that never bothers him.
Yeah, it do.
In there, you've got to consider culture. Would you be saying this if this was a white kid whose father has never been there?
And I can agree with you, Kae Maree, because I had a player that I coached. I still coach him to this day, and he a bad son of a gun. I ain't gonna lie. He would be. Y'all gonna be looking on the news in like a year or two, and he gonna be signing to Alabama. He gonna be signing one type of school, the Georgias, the Kentuckys. He gonna be one of these schools. He saw me go to my daughter stuff, right? He said, "Man, my dad ain't never been in my game." That's what he took from it. Like it wasn't nothing about that really positive for you. Thinking about what you didn't have. And what you could still have, but it ain't happening. The first thing he said when we got in the car, he said, "Man, my dad ain't never been one of my games." This kid a junior high school. You know what I'm saying? This kid got 30 offers to go to B1 schools.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, my dad ain't never been one of my games."
That's why I want to get back to the what do we do about it? Because that's something that I've heard folks talk about what the hell is wrong for a long time, because it's valid and we need to express it. We have to express it. But damn it, we got to get to the what do we do about it too.
And you know what I always say?
Yeah, let's get to the what do we do about it. That's a certain aspect of it, but we got to go back, because see, there's something that's going on now. It's not going to be no fathers. We can't just pull them off trees. So what we have to do, going back to the seed planting, we have to get these first. First of all, there's going to have to be sacrifice from the men, because I talk to men, because that's who I'm going to deal with. I'm going to talk to men, because these fathers, just like I talked about that young man not being so hard on his son, we got to come at men and talk to them in a way they're going to receive the information. Because some people think they can talk at a man, what result do you think you're going to get? It's not going to be a good one. And since I have testicles, I understand how I want to be talked to. You know, so when I talk to men, I deal with them in a way where they can receive the information, so that way we can get a result. And the result is we need to make sure that we have as many fathers in homes as possible. Then we also can walk and chew gum at the same time. We're going to address this propaganda, and we have to talk to our sisters in a way that they can receive it, because we're not going to browbeat them into changing their ways instantaneously, but we can coerce them into having a proper understanding of whatever you say about that father, whatever you say is powerful. So the way you can speak negativity, you can speak positivity. Some people might call it manipulation. I call it using your superpower as a woman. Why you think you are fair? You're the fairer sex because you can get a knucklehead like me to act right. It seemed like magic. It seemed like magic. But sometimes our counterpart, our precious wife, can talk to me in a way that a man wouldn't be able to talk to me, because she's my counterpart, and vice versa. So we're gonna have to get to some teaching, and this thing, let's get it out of our head that it's gonna be an overnight fix. This ain't the social media, this Insta world, this Instagram, it got us thinking we can do things just like that. We're gonna have to put in some work. Coach Scrap putting in the work. He's seen a team you can't make a championship team in a season. Sometimes it's gonna take some off season, it's gonna take some eating right, it's gonna take a lot. So the first thing I say that we can do about it is to figure out how can we plant the seeds to get the best results, and it might take some focus groups, and it's gonna take some time, and then we'll make sure that we don't lose ground before we go forward. There you go, Coach Scrap. Show them out, Coach Scrap. Show them off, Coach Scrap.
And these teams weren't doing shit before I came to them. They weren't doing shit.
Now, Coach Scrap. Now,
truth be told,
Coach Scrap. Now, don't toot your own horn down there.
They weren't doing that though. Hey, that film check. Hey, this was it. They were 0-10 when I came. They hadn't won the game.
Coach Scrap.
So humble.
Then next, we win again. All I'm saying is, bring a real black man in.
There you go, Coach Scrap.
Fellow he is. Okay.
We win some shit.
They say you're a little modest. Yeah, Coach Scrap's kind of modest.
They won't win the shit. I'm definitely is.
Hey, he just told y'all it's either star or statistic. He is not.
Man, you hear me?
Shine, Coach.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You said something real, man. What do we do? The biggest thing that I can say, what do we do? I'm a real big advocate, and I'm gonna use you first. You've done it with me. a couple times. You've done it with me a couple times. I'm gonna call you out. like I'm gonna call bullshit when it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If you my partner and you know I love you and you know my heart, I should be able to call it.
That's right.
And listen, a lot of times everybody want to bring with men and women. We just talking about the men.
Mm-hmm.
Because I honestly feel like none of this is fixed if we're not fixed as men.
True.
I agree.
I don't care because when I listen to what Nekab said, when I listen to what Kae Maree said, in a nutshell, they wanted to be led by a man. Period. They want to be protected by a man. They want to be taught by a man. It starts and stops with us. And so the way we fix it is any situation, and me and you both know men this much like ourselves. We have to advocate to those men, man. You got to say something to somebody. Don't just listen to that. I'm pretty sure and it's the reason why I don't do it. If I lied to you today, Pop, you know I'm lying to you. You know I'm bullshit with you. If you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did that, it's your job to call me out on it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the ways we get there. I got a couple guys up under me now that don't play football for me. Right. I got guys that's grown men. I got guys that's grown men up under me that seek me for guidance. Mm-hmm. I have to be honest with them. I have to be honest with them when they've done some self-inflicted things. Man, nah, that's your fault, brother. Now I'm gonna teach you how to capitalize off it, but it's your fault. Let's get first.
Now, let me jump in this scrap now. You know, I think Kae Maree mentioned, you know, is the absence of fatherhood is being normalized. One of the things that I always say that one of our biggest weaknesses as a community, I think, sometimes it's like a lot of what we do it in the public. We do it for everybody to see. But you know, the most work goes on behind the scenes, like with those rings you have on. It's not just on that Saturday or the Friday night that they play. Most of the work went on that gridiron, scrap iron.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And you go back to the locker room, everybody might have thought you might have won the game, but you getting in and jokers, coaches slamming clipboards. I'm not talking about them points we put on the board. I'm talking about the ones left on the field. That's where you do the work. So when you talk to those men, when we talk to our brothers, sometimes it's if you let's say for instance, you know, a young man and he prideful. It's where you talk to him and how you talk to him. Because if the fact is to get the best result, because Kae Maree will tell you in school they teach you about communication. There's the one that sends the message and there's the receiver. There are a lot of parents, they got excellent information. But if it misses their children, was it efficient? So when we talk to our folks, let's figure a way. Kae Maree talked about mental health. When you don't understand, when you have not been educated on how to communicate properly, most of your stuff fall on deaf ears anyway. Yeah. And a lot of us have been in situations where somewhere the education line was broken. Because when we look at certain parents and they're not, well, I'll say it like this, I was a juvenile justice probation officer, and a lot of folks were blaming these children for acting a certain way. And a lot of these folks, they had never been in a home to meet the parents of these children. And I'm thinking that baby didn't have a chance because if you meet the mama or the daddy, you'll see why little Junior is acting like that. And then when you understand that mama or daddy, they never had any instruction. Nobody ever taught them. So if the line is broken, you can't push information down. The mama's supposed to be doing this, but if the mama don't know, how that baby gonna find out?
Straight up.
What you got to say, Kae Maree, Nekab?
Well, we need healing in our families and our communities. And I said therapy, and therapy doesn't always look like scheduling an individual appointment and going to someone's clinic. You know, we can
For sure.
always do,
For sure.
you know, group work in our communities. We can be creative in our healing. Workshops, bringing some nonprofits into our communities, programs for us, by us. But we need healing. So many of us have solved traumas. We need to learn communication skills. We were not taught those things in our homes. Our parents were not taught communication skills. They don't teach those things in the schools. Most of us do not learn proper communication skills unless we were taught those things in therapy. And most of us don't go to therapy until some situation forces us into therapy. So we need healing and education. And oftentimes we're not going to go out there and seek it. So it needs to be brought in our communities by people who look like us, that our people trust.
You know something. First of all, Kae Maree, you hitting hard like steel. I appreciated everything you said. Going back to what Nekab was talking about. Now, Nekab has a style as a parent that's reminiscent of some of the old school parents. I remember that when they talk to you, they want you to listen. You better straighten up and fly right. And I don't miss me with the rest of it. And what I think we can learn as professionals, as lay people, is that we have to pick the parts out that work well from the old days. There was a lot of it that didn't work well. And there was some of it that was necessary, because Kae Maree mentioned therapy, but we have to understand that you can be taught things in therapy and it can be the right thing. But a mama like Nekab might tell her son, let's say, you get over there, you sit down, you be quiet. And I'm talking about when he was much younger. If he don't, she might use a little corporal punishment to demonstrate that sometimes if you don't listen to authority, there's an immediate pain. Because if that is not done, as a young brother, you get out in the community, and if a police officer encounters you and they tell you to do something, you don't do it, you buck up, we might get hurt bad.
Right.
We could get beat.
Right.
We could get beat, or we could get shot. Why? Because we buck authority. Sometimes it's better to live to fight another day. And we might learn a lesson like that when mama say, get over there and sit down, be quiet, when daddy say, hey, look, boy, you better, or when daddy grab him in the collar. There's certain things that need to be taught there. So our first lesson won't be applied out in the street, because sometimes, like Nekab said, it's your last one. It's your first and your last. So it might be right that officer is wrong and you want to stand up for yourself. But if you on a county road at 2 a.m. in the morning, first of all, you get too strong, especially you're broad about the shoulders like Coach Scrap, they're going to feel intimidated. They're going to want to use a little excessive force. Right. So sometimes we got to teach our folks how to maneuver, how to navigate a situation. And sometimes it means just, look here, just do what they say. They say this, and we can file a report and a complaint.
Yeah. Stop playing with people, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Stop playing with
people. I'll say this. I don't have the antidote. That's your word, right, Pops? I don't have the antidote.
Antidote. I like that.
I wish I did, right? But I do think, no, I know that it starts with the black men. Coach Scrap hit on it when he said that as far as leaders in the family, Kae Maree hit on it when she said when her father struggled, the family struggled. So when the head is doing well, the body does well, right? In general.
Speak on it, Nekab.
So
speak on it.
I know that is why they try so hard to keep our black men down, because again, I always say this, it's been designed. It was intricately designed, layers upon layers, generations upon generations. So hitting back on what Pop said, it's not an overnight thing, right? It's not likely, there won't be a turnaround in our generation. Now, can we start to make progress? Absolutely. But it starts with the black men, the black males. We have to pour into our young black males, because I'm a firm believer that when we do that, the women and children will follow. there won't be another
Yeah.
choice. And I know all this, and I'll get bashed for this probably, women's rights and being
I
feminist.
just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah.
What is feminism doing?
And
how is it impeding this?
Right.
Assume I'm a feminist and I am not.
Right.
Wait a minute, Kae Maree, why they assume you're a feminist?
I mean, and so could Black feminism be doing more harm than good to the Black family and the Black community?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. Without a doubt, it is. We took it on as our fight, as our plight, and it absolutely was not. We should have stood beside our men and fought for our community rights. But again, they sold us on it. Like they sell us on everything, and we buy it, and then to our own detriment. So
yeah, they bought it. They bought it and owned it.
And just going to what you said, Coach Scrap, about hiding your clothes in trash bag. I've been that mother, and he was my children's father. And even thinking about that now, I didn't think about that when I was 19 or 20 years old.
You're trying to survive.
We're in survival mode. We got to get it the best way we can. But how would a man? Again, I have a strong personality, but I can't even imagine now, in hindsight, how I would have felt if I had to put my stuff up, and I'm in the house, and I'm with my kids, and I'm, because we getting this so-called quote unquote help.
Scrap, I don't know if it was you or Nekab, but
probably
me. That's funny. I think like a woman, if she has to, if there's no one else to do it, you have to take up that role and do it yourself. Like sometimes I think labels help complicate things. If a woman is on her own and she's dynamic enough, creative enough, strategic enough to make a way out of no way, doesn't necessarily mean she's being masculine. She's actually being a woman. I don't know if folks have read Genesis in the Bible, but when God made woman from a man's rib, it said the helpmate, which means if you come in to help somebody, don't you have to be very capable? If you come in to help, you got to be able to do something. Our women are extremely capable, always have, always will be. What we do, we're just better when we're together. It just so happens that we have some of the most resilient women, and just because they are capable, don't mean that we should make them do it all the time, because like a lot of our extremely intelligent and dynamic women are finding out, when you have to carry that load for so long, it's so taxing on you. At some point, the human side in you starts to feel the weight of it. And that term, strong Black woman, sometimes it beats our sisters over the head, because it makes them feel like when they're feeling the pressure, they can't even buckle, because that moniker, strong Black woman, it makes them feel like they gotta do it. And we're all human.
I feel that.
What I mean?
It makes you resentful, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, it is what it is. We just gonna keep it real. Mother's Day and Father's Day is totally different. It's just what it is.
It is.
Women and men are totally different, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've been that guy. Just be a woman. Just be a woman. You gotta be strong and be the strong Black woman. Nah, man. That's pressure. That's pressure. Because when you talk about strong Black woman, you got some. Man, did you see what Harriet Tubman did?
Is that the standard?
That's pressure.
I'll never make it.
No,
it
sends
that is pressure.
No, seriously, it sends a subliminal message
to
internalize your pain, your fear, your anxiety.
You can't do that.
No, that's the subliminal message that it sends, and then
and that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, it's not. And then when a person internalizes all of this, then you get this irritable person, and then you turn around and calling people angry Black woman. And that affects, and then when you internalize all this pain and this anxiety and this depression, it affects your interactions with other people. It affects your job performance.
Yeah.
It causes depression,
People
suicidal
skills.
ideation,
Yeah.
substance
No, it's
abuse,
definitely unfair. It's
everything.
definitely unfair. It's definitely unfair. It's definitely unfair. But like I said,
And
you
we got
saw
some of
Harriet
us got to
Tubman
stop
did.
embracing that too.
I can't expect no one in my life to do what she did.
And then a lot of just piggybacking off that, a lot of men be like, "Oh, my mama did it. Like, what? Why you can't do it? You know,
I am
like,
not your mama."
Man, and your mama ain't Harriet Tubman, man. I ain't Harriet Tubman, shot.
Right.
It's a dirty trick. Kae Maree, Nekab, it's a dirty trick.
Yeah.
You know the way, we were
I'm
talking
still tripping
about
off of this. My mama did it. Ooh,
the crafty adversary. You know when I talked about that.
And they said though, I said it.
The crafty adversary that is tricky. And we talked about the propaganda and the trick bags. We got to do a better job of recognizing certain things. Let old pops talk to you. So when you say
baby,
that,
cook. Let's cook.
That old strong black woman moniker. We have to remember who started this stuff and why did they put it on us, and why hadn't it been said about any other group? You don't hear strong Asian woman, strong Hispanic woman, strong white woman. So they put it on our sisters. And it's like, first of all, when you have strength, you don't even have to say it. When we used to have a bench press club when I was back running the weight room at TR White, I might have benched 435. I didn't have to wear a t-shirt that said it. I could just bench it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? You saw it about my shoulders and my traps. I was stout and strong.
He said, let it speak for itself.
It's going to be there. And so what I see is we should not ever let someone use our resiliency against us. Our sisters are extremely resilient. And with the strength, they're also selfless. Sometimes they will tell a sister that strength means your neck move and you talk loud. But you know what? It could also be taken as I'm one that will do any and everything for my family, the ones I love. That's a strength too. But what they did, they made it a stereotype. And then Kae Maree mentioned something, the angry black woman and the strong black woman. It's almost synonymous. They make it like all the attitude, all the pomp and all the circumstance. So life starts imitating art. You start seeing it on the screen. You start seeing it on the TV shows. You start hearing it in the music. I've listened to some folks on the radio. First, I thought it was a young man rapping. Come to find out, it's a young lady rapping. So if the young ladies are speaking in a dominant, rough, aggressive, masculine way, are they slowly trying to transform things in front of our very eyes? If she the dude, what we doing on the other side? If she sounds just like you, what's up, bruh? What's up, twin? My nigga, this guy, damn it. If the woman is talking like that, how, you know what I'm saying? How tough do the man gotta be gruff and aggressive? Does he gotta be? It get to a point where you can't get no more aggressive, and you don't need to be. So does it start going? And I know many of our awesome sisters, they say, I want a man's man. But they don't know that they let the propaganda beat it up out of a lot of dudes. They're afraid to be a man's man because I think Nekab mentioned it before. We need to pour more into our young men. It wasn't an accident that they kept pouring into our young sisters to make them even more awesome. And it picked them up high. and the brothers started to suffer. I don't know what was that, Coach Scrap?
Bro, you said twin.
That's what you got from that. That's what you got from that.
Twin, where have you been?
Hey, look, now Coach Scrap know I can't get back to where I was because I told you I'm long in the tooth and gray in the beard. So that's what I'm saying. It's like now we having this weird. Have you ever heard of androgyny?
Yeah.
Let me Google it.
Okay, so
it's Prince.
I got you.
What to say, Kae Maree?
I think Prince when I think androgyny.
And so it almost seems like they're trying to meld something And I've heard a lot of women say, I want a man's man. I want this. And I'm thinking, well, why is it difficult to find a man's man?
You want the definition of it, Nika B?
Sure, go ahead. Share.
I don't want to share this one. I'm gonna find another one. Cause this just pissed me off.
Well, share both then.
All right, so an androgynous person is therefore one who has both masculine and feminine characteristics.
Now, Nika B, what you were talking about was that design. There are excellent sociologists and folks that this might not be an accident. What we're seeing, to us, it seems like it's organic. It just is what it is. But sometimes if we kind of step back and look at history and really, really pay close attention, we'll find that some things are done on purpose by folks that we will leave unnamed.
Yeah. Why though?
Kae Maree, I'm
Cause we
glad you asked that.
powerful. Cause we powerful.
You said, why are, first of all, that's a good doggone question. Take over, Coach Scrap. You know how they, you know, at church, if somebody catch the Holy Ghost, man. Take it over, Coach Scrap. I caught the Holy Ghost.
It got to be took over. You know how great we is when our little locked in. Mm-hmm. We keep our business house, and don't get me wrong, I ain't saying we're perfect. I ain't saying we gotta be locked. When I say locked in, I ain't saying we gotta be perfect to be locked in. We just locked in. Mm-hmm. All our stuff is our stuff. And it comes from good, bad, and ugly. Man, you know how crazy it's be, you know how crazy it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from a therapeutic standpoint.
Every standpoint.
Coaching standpoint. Marriage standpoint. Teaching standpoint. Teachers, principals, administrators, people that run this, people that run, it's too powerful.
Look how we excel even with all the obstacles. So then you remove the obstacles and they know that we could not be defeated. So again, generations upon generations upon generations, the primary focus has been to keep our people down. We are so easily tricked, so easily swayed, so easily pinned against each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. Right.
I'm looking at our screen right now. It's even. It's an even playing field with two black men, two real black men, and two real black women. The playing field even just on here. We made the playing field even.
Just recently in the news, because we've been so resilient. I don't know if folks realize that just coming out of slavery, and they call it the Reconstruction period, a lot of folks don't know that we had more black carpenters, more black brick masons. I mean, do you know that our brothers could build cities from the ground up? And that was the quote norm. It was normal for black men to, if you need it, they could do it because we're resilient. I mean, do you know that the families, they couldn't even break the families during slavery? They couldn't break it. The fact is, the family structure during that time, they couldn't break it. They couldn't break it during Jim Crow. So how in the world did them wascally rascals, how did they break it now? You know how? That propaganda, and they divided us, Coach Scrap. What you were saying, locked in, them jokers snuck in there. They found a crack. And what they started doing, y'all heard of the old Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's some of that new age Willie Lynch. Once they figured out the first thing you got to attack is the family. Attack that melanated family. And once you get that,
we're gonna get our family back intact.
Let's chop old Pops off at the kneecap first. Well, else we got to get him out of there. And then you elevate the woman and say, you don't need him. As a matter of fact, you can do it better than him. Like I think you mentioned, what did the rise of feminism, what did it do? That divisiveness. Nika B, do you have any final thoughts for this episode?
I will, just bringing it back to fathers. like I said before, I don't have the antidote, but I 100% know that it starts with pouring into our Black men, young men, especially. There's a lot of pressure. So for those of you rather, who are overcoming those pressures and obstacles every day, like I commend you, like I honor you, cherish you, love you. Anything that I can do to help support a Black man, albeit young or old, I'm gonna do it. Like be right there, just because I know that that is the ultimate fix, for lack of a better word. Nobody protects, nobody loves, nobody does fatherhood like Black men, and I'll just leave it there.
Appreciate that.
I do want to add this about Black men and Black fathers. For me, there is nothing like or nothing greater than a Black man and a Black father. When a Black man is healthy and a Black man is happy, a Black man is the greatest that one can have. I thank God for my Black father, my grandfather, all the men in my family, and all the Black men in my life. You two are
yeah, appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
You two are great fathers, and I so admire both of you.
Right.
Coach Scrap, give us some final thoughts, Coach Scrap.
I want to go back to Nika B. She said if there's anything that we need. Yeah, I know about some crazy. Let me hold something. Just let me hold something. You know what I'm saying?
Check your cash out, like put it in.
No, you know we have to pay now. We have to pay. I love what the intro said. You know, we ain't against nobody, but we love our people. I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think that you can get a better understanding of life. I don't think that you can get a better understanding of friendship, stewardship, leadership from a Black man. Going back on what Kae Maree said, I ain't apologetic about who I am. I would not rather be another race. I'm proud of who I am. I'm glad of who I am. I'm glad from where I come from. And I'm gonna keep on pushing the agenda that need to be pushed for us.
Well said.
To make us be a little more prosperity. But
well said.
But go ahead, Pops. Go take us out, Pops.
Now, first of all, this was an extremely edifying episode. And I want to say something because I've taken a lot in, and I'll echo something that I think Coach Scrap said, Nika B.
Probably did.
That it's, and I think the intro even said it, it's not that we are against any other group, and I want to make that clear. But I think we also have to make sure that we focus on our group. And I think this could be objective. I think that the most help should go to those that need it the most. Yeah. And I don't think anyone could argue in an intelligent way that our folks have not suffered so much for so long that we are not the group. It just happens to be that we need the most assistance. So when I used to hear that good old phrase, one of my old professors had asked me one time, would you do this speech? And the theme is Black Lives Matter. And in old Pop's fashion, I changed it up a little bit on her. When I got up there, the title of my speech was, If Black Lives Matter, How Do We Prove It? So that's what we got to do. If you say Black Lives Matter, it starts with us proving it the most. We have to prove that we matter. So let's start here. Charity starts at home. And I certainly appreciate you all being Black on the Block, and we will see you the next time.
There it is.
All right.
I say open the door and let me in. Teach us all, preach us in. Turn the cheek, let it slide. Give 5 on the black hand side. The black hand side. That's it. Oh, black hand side. Black hand side. Oh. the black hand side.